All right, we are as ready as we'll ever be for Donkey Kong Country Returns and TimeLink. Take it away.
Woo! All right. Hello, everyone. We apologize for the long delay. We had a lot of technical difficulties. No matter what we tried, we couldn't quite get it right. Somehow, I think the setup is just kind of cursed. Maybe the game's cursed as well. I don't know. Before we do anything, can we get a huge shout out to the tech and everyone here who helped set this up? We had so many people actively running back and forth, exchanging cables. We swapped the console. We're no longer playing on my Wii U. We're playing on Wazoo's Wii, which didn't... It changed the problem. It didn't fix it fully. This one's going to be very scuffed because you're not seeing this on stream, but I'm playing on my screen in a nice magenta tint, and it is going to be a journey. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it definitely will be. I guess I will watch the the footage on the beamer, I guess.
Yeah, it's slightly delayed, so I can't play on it, unfortunately, but we'll have to make do. Yeah. I'm not alone here. I've got a violent tiger on my side. I'm not sure if that's safe, but maybe you can say a few things about yourself.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Tiger is my name. I'm a very old runner for Donkey Kong Country Returns. It's like 5 years ago that I last played this game, and I'm trying my best to do a bit of commentary here. Yeah.
All right. I think we've held up everything enough. I'm ready to go. Time is as soon as I select one player here. So let's do the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go!
Yes. Almost forgot to hit the button here.
Wouldn't be the worst thing that's happened so far.
Yeah. So, Donkey Kong Country Returns. A really nice game from, I think, 2009,
2010, I think?
9, 10, around about that time. And yeah, a really cool platformer.
This is the 4th entry in the DKC series. It's the first one not on Super Nintendo. They kind of took a bit of a break after the third one, but they came back better than ever, in my opinion, with Returns on Tropical Freeze. You want to talk a bit about the general movement here?
Yes, so we have, of course, we have Donkey Kong, we have Diddy Kong, and the general movement is we can jump and we can roll. And Diddy is basically an add-on that you have compared to the old Donkey Kong countries, where Diddy was a separate character. Now he's more or less an add-on who gives 2 extra hearts. So right now we can take 3 hits before we have the last hit to die. And besides, Diddy does give an infinite roll. So the roll that we just saw, normally it isn't infinite, it's just a very short span. And on top of that, Diddy has the jetpack that helps you keeping a little bit longer in the air when you jump. On the other hand, the jetpack kills your momentum, so if you're rolling, you're faster than walking, and if you use the jetpack in the air, you are slowed down to the speed that you have when you would be walking. So you want to time the jetpacks very clearly. You will see a lot that TimeLink will do a jump, and just at the end of the jump will use the jetpack to get a little bit more length into the jump to reach another platform below him.
Yeah, there's some nice skips here and there that aren't possible with the jetpack. There's some really cool like leap of faith that we can do later on with the infinite roll, because with the infinite roll we can infinitely continue rolling off a ledge, keep our speed, and then like this game has a roll jump where you can just jump out of a roll in midair, get a new double jump, and we can roll so far off some ledges and then roll very far in midair and make some really cool jumps. You'll see that in a bunch of later stages.
Yes.
We're right here on the vines, little thing. What you want to do here on the vines is actually, like, for some reason it's faster to climb them if you hold not just up, but you hold, like, the direction of the wall you're climbing as well, so, like, diagonally. It's like when I'm climbing a wall on the left, I'm actually, like, trying to climb, holding the D-pad up left and up right on right walls.
Ah, that's interesting, because I personally played with the Wiimote and Nunchuck, and so that I had the analog stick from the Nunchuck, and I didn't know how they solved it with the D-pad alone from the Wiimote alone.
Yeah, this game has two control schemes. You can play with either the Wiimote horizontally held, which is what I usually use, and there's what Mr. Tiger uses, which is Wiimote and Nunchuck. It's really a preference thing for the most part.
Yeah.
Use whatever you're comfortable with. And one free, very simple level here. There's not that much to talk about. I think we can talk about banana coins a little, because
Oh yeah.
throughout the first two worlds and then the beginning of the third, we're going to be trying to collect banana coins. That's a currency in this game. There's a shop, and we can buy various items in it, ranging from extra lives to helpful items to keys, which unlock a new level on the world map. You'll see right here when the world map fades back in. There's a locked level, and yeah, you can talk about what some of these locked levels mean for us while I try and focus on 1.5.
Yeah, so after each locked level, you basically get another route through the world, and in some worlds, these alternative routes behind the locked levels are faster than using the regular routes, and so that for that reason, we want to buy the keys to unlock the levels and take the alternative routes. Each key costs 20 banana coins, and on top of that, we also want some more banana coins for an extra item.
Okay, nice. Yeah, there's a really cool shot you can do here. 1.5 is all about these barrel shots. That shot is barely possible, and for some reason, I don't know why. Like, usually the barrels have a set, like, path they'll fling you at, but you can actually slightly influence it by holding a direction. So that shot is barely possible if that barrel is at the very top and you're holding right. We'll see another one like that in Free 2, where there's a shot that's barely possible, and it's only if you hold the right direction as well. So very tight. So yeah, 1.5 is a level that I love to focus for.
Yeah.
Much the opposite is 1.6, because 1.6 is going to be our first auto-scroller in the run. There's a bunch of these throughout the run. They come in 3 distinguished types. There's the type that 1.6 has, which is a minecart where you're sitting in it. There's some optimizations to be had there, actually. It's like an auto-scroller, but there are things you can do to speed it up. So for the minecarts where you're sitting inside them, since you're actually like controlling the card, you want to minimize airtime for a very slight time save, and you want to optimize how you manage ramps. So like this, for instance, is nice because it gives us a little speed boost downwards, but any upwards ramps, when possible, I'll try and avoid, because that actually takes a little speed out. There's some slopes that go downwards that are actually slower to take because they're very, very steep, and we do skip those. I think there's one coming up for the O soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the general gist of these. We're going to be seeing the other types later. There's rocket barrel levels, which is something completely new to this game. And there's also a different type of minecart where you're standing on top of it, basically, and you're not controlling how the minecart moves. So there's less to optimize there, but they usually have more platforming to do outside of the minecart in those levels. It's pretty nifty.
Yeah.
For a speedrun, though, honestly, like, the auto-scrollers aren't bad, because sometimes, like, they're, like, right in front of a hard gondola, or, like, right in the middle, or right after, and they're a bit of a nice breather. Plus, they're always kind of nice for a showcase, because, like, this one isn't the most intense, but I think visually, they're still very exciting for the most part. They're super cool to watch. Usually get to see them all just, you know, in one go in a speedrun because you don't want to die. It says right there in the top left that I have 4 hearts, so you might think that I'm able to crash into 4 things before I die, but that is actually a complete lie. If I do crash into literally anything, I will die on the spot and have to restart from the last checkpoint.
Yes, that's a little bit difficult for the auto-scrollers. Well, good thing is that the auto-scrollers are not that as hard as in Tropical Freeze, the follow-up game. But on the bright side for Tropical Freeze, there you are not one-shot in the auto-scrollers. So a little bit more difficult, but yeah. The difficulty here in the auto-scrolls comes from being one-shot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The first
That was early.
Oh, that was too early.
Dang. Okay. Yeah, you can talk about 1B.
Yeah, so there's a very distinct pattern that you can use, and we just saw that TimeLink has achieved 2 hits on the way back, and that's possible to get 2 hits down. Normally you would need 3 hits per phase, 3 phases, each one 3 hits, and now let's see.
Yeah,
that was a little bit
The last
risky.
one in red phase is tight, not only because you know, he moves the fastest in red phase, but also because you saw after he ended the orange phase, he wasn't exactly on the left wall. He was a bit offset from it, so that makes it even tighter. Red phase double is like one of the most difficult strats you can realistically go for in a full game run for this.
Yeah.
There's way harder strats for this actually that are basically required to get the shiny gold for this game for this level. I do not do those, and I would not recommend anyone does those in a full game run. They're
Yeah.
stupidly tight and risky.
Yeah.
Alright, so with that, we've cleared the first world, and we're moving on to World 2. This game's separated into 8 worlds, 9 if you count the little post-game, I guess. It's expanded a bit in the 3D version, but it's just 1 level in this one.
Yeah.
We're going to be seeing, this is any percent, so we're just going to be seeing the main 8 worlds, and we're also going to be skipping all levels that we don't have to do. Only going to be doing the fastest ones. Do you want to talk a little bit about what 100% involves?
Yeah, so 100% involves the additional levels that we don't see, of course. And basically, 100% goes after the meter, the percentage meter on the file select screen.
That was weird.
Just
I didn't think I would make it up. I like clipped up at like the last moment when I was already expecting not to make it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But good reaction, very good reaction there. So 100% goes after the percentage in the file selection screen, and that one just counts completed levels. So many people ask, hey, why aren't puzzle pieces included in the 100%? And that's the reason why. Technically, we also wouldn't need the Kong letters in 100%, but we need the Kong letters there because the Kong letters unlock the K levels in each world. And after each K level, you get the bonus level 9-1, which is the last level, and all the levels together are the 100% run. Which also means, of course, that you have in each world you have to get the key for the additional route, which makes the collection of the golden coins, of the banana coins. The collection of the banana coins is really more important, and you have to collect many more coins. I think it's 200 coins instead of like 80 that you need in any percent.
Yeah. So well, like 80 for any percent of the minimum amount. I like to shoot more for like 120 in total. Ideally, I can easily make do with 100, but like I like getting 2 banana juices.
Yeah. There are some levels. Yeah, so the banana juice is an optional item that we don't technically need in the speedrun. It helps a lot in various levels, and especially in the level 8-1, which you will see afterward in the future. And in that level, it helps so much that we technically always want to get a banana juice for that. So we normally calculate with buying the banana juice for 8-1. And then, depending on random preference, maybe you want to get it in another level as well. Yeah,
I really like having it for 7-7 personally. There was a cool skip in 2-2 in the tower that I tried there. You saw me go for it, and I unfortunately failed. It is one of the hardest strats, but it's free to attempt. It doesn't lose any time if you don't get it. It's on the wheel there, like you can basically skip waiting for the cycle if you jump off, and then like DK sometimes if you hover below the wheel, he grabs the vines from the ceiling, and then you can barely make it across if your movement's just right. But it is not consistent at all. But yeah, it's free to go for. It takes like 5 seconds if you get it.
Yeah, and now let's enjoy some good music here.
Oh yeah.
Rocket barrel levels, the second tab of the auto-scroller. that type of auto-scroller is new in the Donkey Kong Country series with returns. And yeah, basically, if you press A, the barrel goes up. If you release A, the barrel goes down, and you just have to fly and pass all the obstacles that are coming here.
You caught me off guard when you said A, because it's 2 in this control scheme.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, yeah, on that control, yeah.
I had to think for a second, but yeah.
Sorry, I'm so used to the nunchuck strats where it's A.
Makes sense,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much to say, but I think this level like is pretty good in like getting across what I said earlier, but the levels being like visually super cool.
Yeah. So here's a really fun strat for this part that we just passed. You can hold A all the time, and you should hug to the well, 1 in your case, of course. You can press the button and hug to the top side. But for some reason, sometimes DK just shoots away from the top side and makes it dip down, even if you hold the button. And I think there was a showcase runner some years ago that actually where the runner did this, and he dropped down.
Oh no!
and landed into one of the cannon shots.
That's unpleasant.
That was really hurting to see.
Yeah. The cloud ceiling here is weird. Like, usually crashing into a ceiling just kills you, as does crashing with most things in Rocket Barrel levels. But here, like, you know, it's the first one, so they kind of go easy on you, and they have, like, a ceiling that doesn't kill you. But it interacts very weirdly with you. It pushes you down.
Yeah.
Alright, 2-4. This is one of my favorite levels in the game. It's very short and very fast-paced. I love it.
Oh yeah. It's also very intense because you see in the back there are these ships, and these ships do fire cannonballs at you, and some of the passages are really tight.
Yeah, there's gonna be. I always take the final section differently depending on how well I'm doing on health and how good the cycles are and everything. It's always kind of a little improv. That cycle we made nicely. That cannonball can hit you if you're a little slow.
Yeah.
Nice use of the barrel to get rid of those jellyfish there. And now we see... So I have perfect health here, so I'm just going to tank this cannonball. Oh, I made it... Oh, that's like the IL strat. I actually made it past without getting it. I've like never done that. You need to be very fast for that.
Yeah.
That's like a perfect 2-4. Jesus Christ.
Nice one.
That was like literally the fastest you can do that.
One of the...
Perfect. Nice.
As you said, that you dodged the cannonball, I realized when I played the game that it's not how fast you are, but how close you want to get and how much you're trusting yourself that you will make it. Because it's not as close as it seems if you run this. So often I found that myself, I also just pulled back, but I could make it anyways.
Yeah, there's a couple of cases in this game where it's best judgment with, you know, how much do you trust yourself and how much you're willing to go for.
Yeah.
For sure. 2-5 is a tough level, and there's also something very weird. There's like an RNG tentacle that hits you like half the time when you try and burrow beneath it. It's coming up soon. We'll see if we get lucky today.
Yeah.
Right here. Do we get it? We got it!
Yes.
I don't know why. Like 50% of the time you just get hit upon rolling through there. I really do not understand, because like, the approach should be consistent. I don't know.
Yeah, it should be consistent, and it is, for me it's consistent most of the time, but I totally know it. There are sometimes these weird occurrences where it just happens. Nice dodge under the tentacles there.
Yeah, that was actually really good. There's like high risk of not just taking damage, but also like losing Diddy in this level, and that's really bad for the next level. The next level is 2-7. It is heavily cycle based, and if you make a mistake, it will kill you.
Yeah. So 2-7. What we have here? We will spawn into the world, of course, and then you will shortly see that there are big waves coming from behind, and these waves are a universal cycle, and if the waves hit our shoreline here and you're not covered behind a rock or a small rock formation, or another object, then you will be insta-killed.
I'm not going to go for this one. You can go for that one. I probably could have made it, but again, that's
Yeah.
like a case of, do I want to risk it? Should I just go for the checkpoint and like?
Yeah, I think it actually wasn't that close, but yeah, it's often in Donkey Kong Country Returns. The question is more or less, how much are you willing to risk here?
Yeah, the things on this one, I always wait anyway, because if I don't do, like I've tried things with this section, they weren't good. If I don't do exactly what I'm used to here and make this approach, like you saw me waiting a long time for the wave flip, but there's like nothing here. The only other one's that tiny stone behind it. It's super hard to reach in time, so I just go and do that. And it's really, like really is, for a run, it's most important to just minimize deaths more than going for really hard strats.
Yeah.
Both starting out and on a higher level, honestly, for quite a while.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still at the point where I have not gotten a deathless run in this category. I think if I did, it would be a PB, basically guaranteed. My current PB is a 135. I think I could get a 134 if I had a deathless run, but it's so hard in this game.
I think you know about it, but the current world records are deathless, I think.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah, I think they are. Well, for the longest time, there was a really long-standing world record by JXD, and even that one wasn't deathless. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
So yeah, to boss. We have the 3 crabs here, the crab tower, and yeah, when they have their arms down, we cannot attack them from the side. When they lift their arms up, of course, we can't attack them from above. So we have to jump on them, hit the ground to turn them on the turn them upside down, and then we can hit them. And there we go. And then we have the tower again, and that should be it then.
Yeah, it's a really simple boss fight in Fear, but there's a few small things that can mess you up. Like you saw, you know, coming. I think the yellow crab coming out of the ground. I jumped on it too early once, and it didn't register. And like, it didn't go into defense mode, so I had to jump on it again. Or like the tower can mess you up because you think they're like dancing in sync with the music, but they're really not.
Well, for the most part they are, but sometimes they are just slightly off. In that case, the second tower, they were a little bit early.
Yeah.
But you can't count on that. Normally there is a certain note in the song where they should be up, and then you can hit them. And I think most runners go for this certain note. But sometimes they are a little bit late or a little bit early. Of course, the late is the problem because you take a hit there. So yeah, World 3. A really short world for the speedrun.
Yeah, this is where we buy our first key. Hold on, I'm gonna try what you told me earlier.
Didn't make it.
Yeah, I did. Okay, I didn't see the turnaround. Unfortunate.
Do we have time for donations?
Sure, yeah.
All right, I have $3.44 from Zed, who previously brought us to a total of $44.44 with the comment, "Oh, banana." And I also have here $10 from Regal saying, "Hey TimeLink and Mr. Tiger, are you monkeying around? Should I catch you? Good luck on the run, and don't forget to hug Rumby."
We will do that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, both of those donations reminded me of... So I recently showed this run at ESA Winter 2024, and both of those donations reminded me of that in a way, because like, there was a donation there that had the runner, the commentator, and the entire crowd do a big "Oh, banana." And Recall, of course, was my commentator there. It's
Very
it was
good.
a really good
Yeah,
run.
Recall also a really long-time runner for the game. Also, I think I don't know how much he does nowadays, but rather active also in the time where I was really active with the game.
Yeah, very active or somewhat active Ape Escape runner.
Yeah.
That's also what the donation was referencing. He also made a joke like that during the ESA run. That was pretty good. We're in free 2 now. This section's... I hope I get this right because
So there are these birds spawning, and one makes his way up. So
That's okay.
the section just continues when all the birds are killed, and yeah, sometimes they have a certain pattern, and if you stand in the middle, then you normally get a pattern where you just can jump up and time your jumps on the birds. In that case, it didn't work that well, and then it could get messy.
Yeah, for sure. It's also nice for any percent specifically, jumping on all of them in a row, because the third enemy you jump on in a row nets you a banana coin, and every single one you continue on bouncing in a streak after that. So you can get a bunch of coins right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go for a swag strat here.
Let's see.
Nice. Okay, second try. Sure, we take those. That strat, it takes so minimal time. It definitely lost me time getting it second try, but it looks so cool because you use the sloped surface of the switch right there to just briefly stand and then jump off it and skip turning the spike wall.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Even that you denied to take the button just after you failed the first
Yeah.
time.
I always go for it until I get it. I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
Such a cool strat.
Normally, I think it should be faster if you go for the button if you fail the first time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, since we're on the topic of recalled, in the ESA Winter Practice Room, he showed me a save strat for the second one here. I don't know, yeah, it's pretty visible on the camera. I'll try and time this first one. And then for the second one, here's the awesome strat that Recalled told me about, that anyone can do this at home. There we go, we got it in. And like, honestly, it's probably faster than what you get on average there. You can go earlier on the second map. They're pretty lenient, but a lot of the time you'll end up being slower than just the mashing strat.
So, and now we get to the shop, because here in World 3 we want to get the first key.
And the reason that I waited on the DK icon and the gold barrel there was to get some extra coins, because we actually buy the key again in the very next world, and we need 20 coins again for that. We're looking very good, especially because there's a section coming up in this level that nets us loads of coins. But again, extra money is not wasted. I can always buy like banana juice and other nice health and safety items with that.
Yeah. So yeah, 3-4 Damp Dungeon, the level behind the secret key. A rather long level, but it saves you doing 2 other levels, so it definitely saves time.
This level's actually pretty short. It's like 45 seconds in the IL. We just delay here a bunch because, again, there's like a bunch of coins floating in the air right there, and we also get coin for the bounce streak, which is super nice. But yeah, like, we just basically skip a level, or have to do a level less by buying the key there. We would have to do 3-3 and 3-5 instead normally, which are both over a minute long, I think. And like this, we can just do 3-4 and be done with it. I actually...
Oh yeah, right.
That was a specific strat right there. You saw I slowed down quite a bit on those 2 red birds. I wanted to get the platform there to move across to the right, but I didn't want to load in the shark yet, because he would block me otherwise. So I let the platform move and then just went for the gold barrel without the shark having time.
Oh yeah, by the way, I said it's a rather long level compared to... Well, I normally compare it to 3-1 and 3-2, and in that case it's rather long. But of course, compared to the other levels, it's really short. And now we have good old Rambi, the last remaining, well, not the last remaining, but the last companion from the old Donkey Kong countries that is still used as a companion.
Yeah, the last playable animal, buddy.
Yeah. And yeah, Rambi is a little bit more technical, because there's a little strat in this game. Well, if you roll and jump out of the roll and start a roll again, you are a little bit slower compared to if you would be rolling through the whole way. It loses like 3 or 4 frames normally, and with Rambi that effect is a little bit longer, it loses like 7 or 8 frames because you see that the animation to start the running, it takes a little bit of time. So you normally would want to...
All right, let's give Rambi some pets as demanded.
yeah.
There's not much I can do. Look, I tried. Okay, let's see that counts.
Oh yeah, of course, Rico did ask us to pet Rambi.
Yeah, this is so the reason I did it there, because that's actually the last time we'll see Rambi. He's the focus of like a couple levels in the game, but
I think it's 3 levels, but one we don't play at all. Well, the other 2 we don't play at all.
yeah. Well, he's also in 1 free, but we don't see him there. It's just for puzzle pieces. He's in 1 free, 6-5, 8-4, and 3-6.
Yeah, genau. Exactly. So yeah, this boss has 2 faces, I guess. Yeah, it was 2 faces. Oh,
I'm here!
He doesn't like you. So he throws the bombs, and the interesting thing is, technically it's 2 faces, but
He's so
he
far away.
just has...
I'm over here!
So yeah, he throws the bombs at you, and he has 6 lives, but after he loses 3 lives, he will switch into the second phase, which is right now. And after that happens, there is a little bit of a more dangerous pattern. So we normally want to get more hits in. You can actually get more hits in if you... Yeah, it didn't really happen.
That's not what I wanted to see, because that's not a bomb that I can pick up.
Yeah, that
This
bomb
is really bad RNG.
Yeah, now you get him. There it is. Yeah, that bird is one of the first really trolls in the game.
Yeah. We have this funny speedrun saying birds are jerks. That holds true for not just 1 but 2 bosses in this game.
Yeah.
That was really bad RNG. Like, I don't know why. He has a pseudo aim. Like, he kind of throws bombs at you most of the time, but then also, like, you saw he, like, threw some way off.
Yeah.
I don't really get it. It's... yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And now let's get back and relax a little bit.
Yeah, if you need to get a drink, something to eat, some popcorn, if you need to get up and stretch, if you need to take your medicine, now is the perfect time, because this is World 4, and World 4 is the auto-scroll world.
Yes, every single level in this world, besides the bonus level, the K level, I just wanted to say, and the boss level, but technically the boss level is also an auto-scroller. It has auto-scroller parts, definitely. Yeah, every single level in this world is an auto-scroller.
Yeah. What is interesting is that we, in the free levels that we have to do for any percent, it's always a different type. So this first one is the one that I addressed back all the way in 1.6, where you have these jewels in the mine cards.
Yes.
So you're actually standing on top of them rather than being in them. And so, in these sections, like, we're riding a high upward slope, but there's nothing I can do about that. We can control the speed here, but there's, as you can see, there's a lot of things happening outside of the minecart. There's sections where I can skip a couple of auto-firing barrels, or there'll be a couple of things here in this section. It's pretty cool. It's one of the more involved types still, for sure.
Yes.
Right here, I'll go for jump. Yeah. If you're too early on inputting that, because that needs to be really fast, then you just won't get the jump off. But you can make that very first barrel right there when you enter.
Well, it's good that you pressed early, because you also could press late, and the input for the button, well, the target of that input is that you jump into the first barrel on the right side, and that only works if you are really within, I think, 2 or 3 frames after you landed on the minecart. And if you are too early, then you can use the next barrel. If you're too late, then you just will fall down, and it will lose about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's I think speedrunning in a nutshell. You search for a skip that helps you save 1 second at maximum, but can lose you like 40 seconds if you fail it.
Yeah, this is for 2. Oh, wait, I lied. What the hell?
Yeah,
oh yeah, it's for 3 that I was thinking of. Well, but we don't do that in this one. This is sorry. I mean, it's a bit of a different one still. We have some interesting sections in this one, but this one's gonna be same principle. We can control the speed of the card much. There's a little we can do here. Like, you can do some crazy bounce strats across that gap.
Yeah.
and there's some really fast bounces you can do later on as well. But honestly, I think given that we have both the rest of this level to go, which is an auto-scroller, and the next one, which is still a full-on auto-scroller, I think we can throw it over to Floha and see if we have anything to say.
Oh, I always have a lot to say.
Awesome.
For example, I can talk a little bit about Save the Children. For example, what we can do with the $50 that we've raised so far. Because $50 can supply a home water filter so that children can spend their days in school and don't have to spend them walking several miles to just fetch water. Alternatively, $50 can also can keep 10 out-of-school children from going hungry during a pandemic. Or $50 can deliver early educational essentials where they are needed, like books, games, software, and supplies, everything that is intended to make up for lost learning time. And hey, maybe we can just raise another $50 or $150 so we can have all of these, so we can fulfill all of these. That would be amazing. So keep your donations coming, I would say. Back to you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so you just saw that TimeLink did buy another key. So we went into the level on the top side, and we can skip the 2 levels on the bottom side of the world. And these are really, really long auto-scrollers, so yeah.
Yeah, the amount of levels we have to play in this world, whether we go key or no key, is actually identical. It will either be 4-1, 4-3, and 4-5, or as we're doing 4-1, 4-2, 4-4. It just happens that the levels on the bottom side are like 20 seconds longer each, and so it does end up being worth buying the key and doing these levels.
Yeah.
Something that I've been doing occasionally as well, you might have noticed on a couple of the last levels, is I've been delaying on jumping into the gold barrel and waiting for the DK icon to come. Because there's the gold level, or the gold barrel, rotates between 4 different things. It starts with a bunch of bananas, goes into a life, goes into a coin, and then it's the DK icon, which what you can do there is shake the Wiimote up to 15 times, and then you will get 15 of one of the first 3 randomly. So 15 bunches of bananas, or 15 lives, 15 coins. And I want to see those 15 coins for the shop. And in auto-scroller levels, it's particularly handy because, like, you'll see right here when the rocket barrel fades out, the rotation on the gold barrel will already start before I even regain movement. So it's like much easier, much less costly in these levels to go for the extra coins than normally.
Yeah.
All right, we're done with the auto-scrollers. I wouldn't consider Furby that much of one. There's a lot to talk about here for sure.
Yeah, of course. So technically, I think we're both right if we say it's an autoscroller and if it's not an autoscroller. So technically, there are a lot of autoscroller parts in this level, but for the speedrun, we are very lucky that we can skip those just like that.
So good.
Yeah. And in between, we just have to do the actual fights, which is a series of 10 hits of the molds. So we are literally playing whack-a-mole here.
Yeah, there's always 10 moles, and then like this happens, and then that timeless right, we can move on right into the next one. There's a death barrier on the right, always in these sections. The death barrier starts or like disappears as soon as the very first card of this train starts dropping off. So you can look at it. The first card that becomes electrified is the first one to drop off, and then that's not actually that good. As soon as it starts dropping off, you can go hover over to the next one. Obviously, it was farther away because I can barely see on this. I can barely see. It's like a sea of magenta.
Oh boy, yeah, that is barely visible.
Yeah. But yeah, it's usually have a pretty good time. And here it doesn't matter. Like I don't need to go jump over because for this one, this is the boss. It always waits for it to connect. And now the boss, he cannot be in the very first 2 cards he shakes. So he shakes 2 cards, and then you have 3 cards that he can be in, and you can like, you can kind of gamble sometimes. You can make some bets. You can see where he's more likely to be, and that makes this phase a lot more consistent and on average faster. It's super nice.
He was really friendly at the last hit.
You can
Sometimes he needs a little bit more time to pop out of the bananas, and the last one was very fast with the pop out.
Yeah, there's a bit of RNG, but it's like, you know, unlike Freebie, it's not like the defining thing about the boss. You can work most things into like a second time loss at most.
Yeah.
It's the nice kind of RNG that just keeps things fresh.
Yeah, so now we have 4 boss down. Let's head over to the 5th world and let's start the run.
Yeah, this is where the game actually starts.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a meme in the Donkey Kong Country Returns community because the levels gradually get harder in each world, but due to the fact that the 3rd world is rather straightforward and the world 4 is the auto-scroller city, you hit a really hard barrier of suddenly the game being much more difficult, and also the speed strats in the World 5 are really difficult sometimes. So normally we say that the first 3 worlds are a little bit preparation, then you can take a breather with World 4, and then the run really starts. Well.
No. First kind of tight strat there. Yeah, I didn't get it. I meant to go over there. But, like, doing that and not hitting yourself on the purple things going around that thing, you have to do very weird movements. Especially, like, all movement around vines in this game is actually, like, a lot harder than it looks. Yeah. Because the button you use to grab vines in this control scheme is 1. And that's also the very same button that you pretty much always want to have held time because it's the run button. So it makes fast movement around vines very difficult on occasion. Shoutouts to this banger soundtrack, by the way. There's a lot of like new mixes from the old DKC games in this one. I think particularly DKC 1. But like in general, like Returns and Tropical Freeze have a lot of really good new mixes for a lot of old songs, and I love it.
Yeah.
All right, this is so. I like to always say I have a little gauntlet here. 5-2, 5-3, and 5-4. 5-2 and 5-3 have a bunch of hard strats. 5-4 is hard.
Yeah. So
this is where the game starts wrapping up.
So there are 2 like gauntlet phases with 3 consecutive levels in the game that are really hard if you want to play them optimized in the run. The first one is right here. And there are really nice strats. You can make these levels look so cool, but of course it's really hard to pull the strats off.
Yep, got the first one.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Thankfully 5-2 is very generous as far as Diddy barrels goes.
Yeah.
Whenever you're not on 4 hard, like when you're on 3 hards, if you pick one up and throw it, you also do just get that missing hard back.
Yes.
Whereas, you know, if you just have DK, if you pick up a heart, that does nothing. It's just, you know, 2 hearts are tied to Donkey, 2 hearts are tied to Diddy. 100% strat where you get the O first cycle for the flex. And then for the second flex, you can get the N right here, and then this thing loosens, and then you can get that first cycle. Actually, in any percentage, technically saves or loses you a little time. Yeah. You can just ride the thing over immediately. But I wanted to show that because it's a cool strat. 5-2 has so many cool strats. And then there's this. I hope I don't mess it up because this is like the ground there. You can see that thing like rotates and swings, and the ground changes how it interacts with you like basically constantly. Yeah. It is really hard to do that, but it is slightly faster.
Yeah, it is faster to do, and you might be wondering, well, there was one of these swings before in the levels. Why didn't we do the strat that we did before? This swing is longer, so it has a longer rope, and that's why you don't have the distance to roll over the center point like we did before. So yeah, 5-3, one of the most... I would say it's my favorite level in the game because you can make it look so nice.
Yeah, for sure. 5-3 done optimally is super nice. Like, they're... Start was kind of scuffed, but there's a big final section coming up that if I get it just right, it'll look beautiful. So there's like a bit of downtime in the middle here. There's these platforms. I think you can do all this more optimally. I never really bothered with it because I was, you know, having a hard enough time doing all the strats for the start and the ending anyway. But this section right here, let's see. Okay. Nice. Drop onto the off-screen platform right there. Continue rolling. Using the flower, and I think we're pretty much through. I don't want to jinx it because I have died. I have died on this part, and it was very painful, but we are through.
Nice one.
Whew. Yeah, that is a really clean final section. That's super nice. Like, you can hit yourself on a lot of things, on the spider, on the spikes. It's really hard because you have these constantly moving tiny platforms that you need to make your jumps on. It is super difficult. And speaking of super difficult... this is my personal nemesis. This is my least favorite level.
Let's go. Yeah, for me as well. It took a really long time until I got the strats down to know what am I supposed to do here in this level.
No, I meant to land on the platform more to the left on the
Yeah, it was a little bit far.
That's okay, but I'll have to take this a lot more slowly now. The problem with 5-4, as the level goes on, you might be able to tell, is that there's like no Diddy barrels. There's one, and it's at the very end of the level, which makes it extremely punishing to die in. And
yeah.
It's not a great time. The IL has a lot of super tough strats. There's a super cool looking, admittedly, but also super tough strat here, where you bounce across the bats for this gap. I never go for it in full game. I've never even, like... I was so frustrated grinding the IL for this that I didn't bother with that. Because in the IL, you don't start with Diddy like we do here. You just have to do all of that with Donkey.
What you probably saw, there is a pit, there is a hole below the barrel, so you actually can fall under the barrel and die. Mm-hmm. It might have happened to me before.
Mm-hmm. I think it's happened to all of us. It nearly happened to me at ESA, but I caught myself just like I did there, basically. I had flashbacks in that moment. But yeah, going from my least favorite level to my favorite level, actually, this is 5-5. It's a super nice, fast-paced level that's all about barrel shots. You can, like, skip a couple here, and then this is all, like, it's all super cool, because we have this mostly memorized, and, well, a lot of it doesn't even need memorizing. It's just have the barrel go to the end of the track and then fire, and it just looks super nice when smoothly executed. The last few shots are a bit more difficult here because these are shots in the middle, and that last one actually is fairly tight. It is not that unlikely to die there. Yeah. There's a skip right here between, like, if you wedge yourself between these two, you can fall down. There's actually, I would highly recommend watching the IL for this because they use some crazy strats for this part in general. No!
Oh, the cooler, yeah.
Yeah.
I totally feel it.
Yeah, that's basically what it looks like when you, like, you know, don't die by the crush, but, like, you start falling again and playing normally, basically. That's what you want to have happen there, to fall in between those two barrels, but that's not where I wanted to have that happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Definitely, in general, one of the highlights of this game for me is, like, the time attack mode that this game has, and, like, grinding the individual levels. The game has, like, an in-game time attack system with an in-game timer that also ranks you based on how well you did between 4 different medals, bronze, silver, gold, and then the secret shiny gold, where the threshold's never really shown to you in-game.
Yeah.
That was basically my introduction to speedrunning this game, and because of that, I was able to, like, get into the full game, even 100% with, like, no problems, basically, and, like, start cranking up pretty nice times right away. I would definitely recommend, if you wanted to get competitive, like, this game doesn't have the IL, or doesn't have IL leaderboards in-game like Tropical Freeze, but there are individual level leaderboards on speedrun.com for this game, for all 71 levels. And it's one of my favorite things about this game, like seeing those runs, doing them myself. Like I'll always find myself coming back to ILs occasionally, and it's a really nice way to like get started with this game.
Yeah.
In general, like I'm talking a lot here because this is a very straightforward level. It's a pseudo auto scroller. If you have any interest in speedrunning this game or Tropical Freeze, we have a Discord server that you can find on the speedrun.com pages for both. You can find various channels for both games there, and people will be happy to help you. And yeah, I'd say it's pretty easy to get started despite the general difficulty of the games.
Yeah. But it's also one of the nice games because you can basically finish your first playthrough and you can just play through it again, just trying to get a little bit faster, and that's how you can slowly get into the runs, and you don't need to learn really complex strategies or anything. You can just going for it.
Yeah. All right, 5 boss or 5B. I always get confused when they say boss because in this game, like they have you know, the boss is just B, and in Tropical Freeze they have like actual A and B levels.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about 5B.
Yeah, 5 boss. I'll just call it 5 boss.
Yeah.
It's easier to understand if you play both games. So we have Mango Ruby here, the little flying worm there, and yeah, actually we need to hit the switches here, and when we hit the switches, the lights turn on in this hall here, and after that the body of Mango Ruby is not electrified anymore, and after that we can hit him. And the wheels are spinning a little bit, which is interesting because depending on in which way you are climbing on the wheels, in the direction or against the direction, yeah, you are faster or slower, so sometimes you can escape him, sometimes you can't. It's a really technical boss, but there is a really straightforward strategy that you can use, and yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, sorry.
But if you deviate a little bit from the strategy, it can get a little bit messy, as we just saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting boss because there's technically no RNG. It's just it just reacts to what you do, and yet like every run kind of goes differently, and then you end up having to improvise, and it goes off the script more and more, and it's very interesting. Every Mango Ruby is very different from the last.
Yeah.
All right, this is World 6, the cliff. This is where I'd say the difficulty ramps up a bit again. Like, I think there's a pretty constant difficulty increase between all of the last, between like World 5, 6, 7, and 8, like every time.
Yeah.
Strat here, see if I can... No! No! Oof. That's a little rough. That's alright. Yeah, you can like use the guy's head to bounce yourself up to the next platform, and then I'm actually not gonna go for that. You can immediately go for like usually the game's pretty lenient with ledges. You can like DK will do a little hopping sound and just clip up onto the ledge if you generally were close enough, had good enough height or sometimes speed. And there I was expecting it to work, honestly, but it just didn't quite. That's alright, though. There's a pretty cool-looking skip coming up in the very last section here. You're intended to... Well, I guess I'll just show it first. There we go. You're intended to, like, kill all those bone enemies on the seesaw platform right there, tilt it to the right, so that, like, you know, the seesaw, it goes up, you go to the platform that's in the top left, and then do a roll jump over. That's, like, super slow. So we just kind of have the bone guys tilt the thing for us, and we use the extra height on the left to just immediately jump into the gold barrel. We actually barely need any extra height. It's fairly easy, I would say.
Yeah, but you just don't need the extra height if you kill the bone guy on the left side, so that the platform tilts to the right. So you actually need to kill that guy on the left side, and then you are good to go. Yeah, another minecart level of the, let's say, classical style, where you sit in the minecart. Oh, you take the upper way.
It really doesn't matter. It probably actually is like slightly sore because you have more air time, but it's like frames.
It shouldn't make any difference.
Yeah, like I've actually grinded this IL like to within 0.2 of the IL record. You can like, even if you play with the riskiest strats, there are some really early jumps you can do, and like some super tiny things that you can do for optimization in 6-2 especially. But like, it amounts to so little in a full game run. Like, the sloppiest quote-unquote 6-2 will be like a second slower than the best possible, the riskiest 6-2. It is...
Well, assuming that you don't die, of course.
Yeah. It really does not mean a lot. There's a couple things like I'll do here and there, but like you can like jump up a couple slopes or like do really early on some jumps that you don't really have cues for, and then they become risky, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah. Okay.
After that, though, we have a very interesting level coming up. This is what I'd say is one of the coolest levels in the speedrun. Coming up, we have 6-3, which is supposed to be, emphasis on supposed to be, a very puzzle-based level. We can do a lot of wacky things in this level just with roll jumping. You'll see a lot of it.
Yeah, but because of the fact that it's supposed to be a puzzle level, it's still a rather technical level. It's not really as straightforward because you have to know a little bit about the level and what you can do in which position. And yeah.
Yeah, so there's these seesaws everywhere, or not seesaws, there's like, you know, these platforms. Two platforms are connected. If you stand on one, the next will move. You're supposed to stand on one constantly, move the other. Or there's two sections like this where you're just supposed to ride a platform down. However, we have the option not to do that, thankfully, or skip it for the most part, just jump off early. Here there's supposed to be a whole puzzle where you like move these platforms in the right position. However, they also act as seesaws themselves, and we can just like tilt that one up and use the little extra height to skip straight to the end.
Yeah.
That's super nice. Back up a little here to make it up here. Roll jump. We can go super early here.
Yes. That's enough. That's enough.
And then coming up's like the coolest strat in the level. This is the first huge leap of faith that we'll take.
Yeah. So we can just pull it a little bit down, that we can stand on it, and then we can take this leap of faith. Also, that's the strat with the delayed usage of the jetpack that I mentioned at the very start of the run.
That strat, I would say, is not as hard as it looks, because like the position the platform's in when you first jump on it is actually almost perfect for that to work. The hardest thing is being bold, rolling off of the edge long enough before doing the double jump and then the jetpack.
Yeah, it's very tempting to use a little bit of the jetpack earlier to see where you are, but that actually already kills your momentum.
All right. So you've told me that you think 6-4 is one of the scariest ones for you, right?
Yeah, it maybe not hard, but it definitely looks very scary.
Oh yeah. This level has a lot of hard strat, or a lot of scary strats going on at the end, especially because we'll be taking intentional damage boosts and then doing the entire ending on 1 HP, and we'll always be in very, very close proximity of these spike balls.
Yeah.
So up until here, you know, it's not too bad. Then this is the first kind of tight jump that I have to make across these. We kind of graze them. We don't get hit, and here's where I start taking damage boosts for that, so I don't have to hide for this, and now I'm on 1 HP, and now there's a spike ball right there that's chasing me, and there's like a big pit. There's another huge spike ball right here that's almost going to get me because there's a slope that's super in the way, but we barely make it out, and we barely make it across.
Yes. That looks really scary, but if you get at the drop down at the very beginning of the last section. If you don't take a damage boost there, then you can have all the hearts that you need to get the exact 3 damage boost that TimeLink did, and then it's a really consistent strat actually.
Yeah, it's fairly consistent. You have to know how to handle the last soap most of all, because it's somewhat unconventional. Alright, 6-6, there's not too much to say. There's the first Diddy barrel coming up is a little tricky, because like this guy here, we bounce on his head like very late, and then there's no good way to throw that Diddy barrel, and I kind of almost threw myself in the pit grabbing. We can talk about that in general, I think, how we want to, interact with DD barrels, because we've been doing that a lot throughout this, and there's various ways to do and approach that. You want to take that, or should I?
In which way you mean it? You mean how we just grab them, or?
I mean, like, so there's various ways we approach DD barrels. Like, we can come up to one, like, rolling the entire time, and then we'll jump out, grab the DD barrel, and then throw it midair. Or what we'll, I think, more commonly do is actually, like, time a jump such that we hit the floor about where the DD barrel is. And just before landing, we press 1, which insta-grabs the barrel, and we start shaking the Wiimote to roll, which actually instantly destroys it without us needing to throw it.
Yeah.
That's, like, the tech for DD barrels. It's, like, super important because you use it everywhere in the room.
Yeah, okay. So you meant that. I wasn't sure if you meant that.
Might not have been super clear.
Yeah. Okay.
If I don't fall in the tar here, we're good. That has happened. It's not a death, thankfully, but it's like the walk of shame. You have to hover or like jump across all the way to a barrel on the right side that'll speak you out at the top again. But you're covered in tar, and it's super slow. It's the worst thing. Yeah,
it slows you down. The tar itself, it just makes you really, really slow. And your jumps are getting very, very low, and you just have to shake it off, and that takes a lot of time.
We forgot to make the joke on the world map about how the world's almost supposed to end right there, but then there's 2 more levels. I'm quite sad. Anyway, pretend that we did a really cool skit where we fake you out about the length of the world on the world map. This world actually is among the longest. It has the most levels for any person, because this one has 5 normal level, or 8 normal levels. And World 5 also does, but in World 5 there's 2 levels on the key path, so no matter if you take key or no key, you will skip 2 levels, and here there's only 1 level on the key path. So we have to do 7 normal levels and then the boss. 6-7 specifically, there's not that much to say. There's these cannons that come up from the background in a rhythm. We don't have to interact with them for the most part in any percent. There's one scenario actually where it does become kind of tricky, and that's 200% when you're doing this level in mirror mode. We can talk a bit about that.
Yeah, so if you finish the game in 100% and get all the levels, then you unlock the mirror mode, which is an extra mode, and in that mode all the levels are flipped, are mirrored, so you have to walk from the right to the left, and you don't get Diddy, and you only have 1 heart. So it's a really, really tough challenge to get it, and the 200% basically means that you have to beat the game in 100% and then beat the game 100% again in the mirror mode, so beat all the levels in mirror mode.
Yeah. Because you don't have Diddy, a lot of the strats that we do here are impossible. And even, really easy levels for us in just normal 100%, like 1-4, which is a level we didn't see. It's just, you can infinite roll through pretty much all of it. They become a lot more difficult because there's so many enemies on the way, and you don't have an infinite roll. It'll always expire, and it's just not a great time.
Yeah.
Mirror mode is very, very hard. Yeah, I guess we can go back to talking a little about 6-8. There's a little to say here.
Yeah.
6-8, we're just going only up.
Oh.
Which might be indicative of the very next run that you should definitely also catch.
Yeah, I wonder who might run it.
I forgot. Can you remind me?
I don't know either.
It's some dude, Mr. Lion?
Maybe.
I don't remember.
Some kind of a big cat.
No. Anyway, the level actually has a bunch of really precise barrel shots right there. That was pretty risky.
Yeah,
It might have looked really easy, but
like we're just doing these jokes and you're just flying through the level.
yeah. Like honestly, 6-8's pretty scary. I'm glad that went well.
Yeah, it's a rather difficult level, and it's also quite unique because there's not really another level in the game where it mostly goes vertical.
All right. Stretching time again. We have 6B ahead of us here. This is the single longest level in the game. I think the gold threshold for time attack is like 248 or something.
Yeah.
It's a lovely time. This is if you remember 1B, this is his older brother basically. He's got that heat protecting shield on his back. We can't jump on that whenever he's not attacking. Because it is very dangerous. This fight's also separate into 9 hits, or just, because we can't jump on him at will. We always need to wait for him to attack and take the heat shield off. It's a lot more drawn out. This fight is entirely set. There's zero RNG in his pattern and attack selection. There's very, very minor RNG in like specific attacks, like the one where he rams into a wall and then falls over. How long he walks until he like tumbles is RNG. And I think there's super minor RNG in like move animation speed, something like that can lose you minor time. But really it's super straightforward because the pattern's the same every time. This is another fight though that's super hard on mirror mode.
Yeah.
Because what we do here, like every time that he just slowly walks at us is we just hover over him with Diddy, and we have enough airtime with a jetpack to just go on when he first reveals his weak point. But what you don't see is actually he doesn't leave it open for very long. Like right here, we just go very first opportunity. He was about to close it again. You might have seen a glimpse of it. He actually he can fake you out up to twice and put it on again really quickly, and it becomes really difficult if you don't have Diddy.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the cool thing. In the final phase, he gains an attack, but we don't see it because he spits out a fireball that splits into multiple several times. But in this version specifically, we can just tank it with our face and prevent that attack from happening and make him move on. In the 3DS version of this game, which I don't think we've talked about yet, for some reason, I think what happens is the fireball passes through you or something and the attack just goes on. I know you can't skip that attack, which is weird. One of the weird changes from Wii to 3DS.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game has a 3DS version. I think it released 3 years later,
Yeah,
2013.
something like that.
It's got a bunch of interesting changes. It's definitely easier to get into if you're having trouble with the game because there's a new mode. That's literally what it's called. Where both Donkey and Diddy have free hearts, and there's a bunch of extra items. They're cheaper, and so on and so forth. And that's pretty nice. And there's also extra content actually. So I talked a little about this. How World 9 in this game is only 1 level. They expanded it in the 3DS version towards 9 levels. And there's an extra level based on each of the previous worlds, which are actually pretty cool. I'd say, if it interests you and you don't have the Wii version yet, maybe consider it.
So yeah, here we for the first time see, and the only time, see the shadow levels.
Oh yeah, Mr. Game & Watch in the background right there, if you see him. Shoutouts to him.
Oh yeah. And I really like the aesthetic from the shadow levels. There are only 3 levels in the game where the shadow aesthetic is present, and 2 of the 3 levels are behind a key. So that's why we don't see them normally.
Yeah, they're 1-4 and 8-4 respectively. They're just slower, not worth buying the key for, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, super nice aesthetic that they brought to DKCR here. And they did pick it up again in Tropical Freeze for a couple levels.
Yeah,
nice.
also for 3 levels.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I haven't gotten into Tropical Freeze yet. That's gonna come like next month. But I'm basically done with my goals in this game. I recently actually snatched the 200% world record. I wasn't expecting it. It just happened on my first run, so I was pretty happy. And now I'll be moving on to Tropical Freeze soon.
Yeah.
All right. 7-2. This is the last level before we shop. I think I saw it at 81 coins. That's really good, actually. That's like
R080, yes.
Yeah, that's basically everything that I could ask for. This level's pretty tough. We start out with a Diddy, and we have to do a bunch of tricky jumps. We will actually intentionally skip that Diddy barrel right there because it makes the cycles for getting through here a lot better in general. And we can still do some really cool strats donkey only. I used to take a death here. There's actually some... It's fine, it's fine. See, it's the intentional death abuse. I was literally going to say there are some intentional deaths in the IL where you fall into a pit right near the checkpoint. RNG minute, by the way. And then you respawn. The in-game timer hasn't started moving again yet. And you can, like, manipulate a couple cycles that way, put yourself ahead a little. It's not really necessary there, actually, because the cycles sounded pretty well normally, but it's fine. I just wanted to show that. Oh, that's all there was to it, all right?
Yeah. So you mentioned a little bit that you did skip Diddy on purpose. There's actually a little bit... ooh, that hurts always.
Ow.
Yeah, there's a small interesting part with the controls because if you have Diddy and you do a roll jump from the you do a roll jump onto an enemy, it's a very tight timing to hit the maximum height of the jump and still keep the momentum from the roll. And that is a lot easier if you don't have Diddy, because you don't activate the jetpack, and the jetpack kills your momentum, obviously. So, sometimes you just don't want Diddy, but for the most part, there are very few occasions in the game where you actually can choose if you want to have Diddy or not, because it would take more time to lose Diddy. For the most of the times. So yeah, a really short game, 7-3. The bottom level, 7-4, they would merge into the same level again, but 7-3 is a really short level and 7-4 is an auto-scroller, which is a little bit on the longer side, and that's why we want to take the key here.
Yep.
Also one of the levels with the coolest level design.
Yeah, definitely.
With all the hands here.
Oh, that might... Ooh, okay. Wasn't sure if that one was going to make it. That was a bit early.
Yeah.
That was a little tricky to get around.
Yeah. All the hands directing the flow of the level. It's so cool.
Yeah, this one, love it. The music is also super good. Alright, just from here on. Barrels correctly. Oh, no! I wanted to go early there! Man.
Yeah, I totally feel that.
We don't get a Diddy barrel at the start of 7-5, do we? There's one at the first checkpoint.
No. Yeah, first checkpoint is the earliest one.
That sucks a little, actually, because 7-5...
Yeah, Diddy 7-5 start is... it's not nice.
This is what I'd consider the second little gauntlet. 7-5, 7-6, 7-7 are not easy levels. 7-5 especially, I think it's what I'd consider the hardest one. There's a lot of super hard strats, but even just getting through the level somewhat okay is honestly difficult enough as is, especially if you're starting without Diddy. We'll have to take it slow on the platforms here. Because, like, you can infinite roll across these and then, like... use the ledges. These platforms are always turning. It is super not recommended with just DK.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you have to time it just right with the roll ending so soon.
I think you're one cycle faster if you have Diddy. You can make that. but without Diddy, it's just too. I think it's not even possible to make some of the jumps that are required for that.
Maybe. Another thing that all these levels have in common is right here. You're gonna see in like 10 seconds when this thing finishes turning. There's a switch in each of these levels that we need to hit. A very distinct one. 7, 5, 7, 6, 7, 7 all have this switch, and then you'll see on the world map there's a couple buttons that light up as well. And once they're all lit up, we can go into 7R, which is an auto scroll that grants us passage to the next boss.
Yeah.
This is something that really hurts to forget, like pressing these switches, because they're like pretty well integrated into the level for the most part. I've definitely forgotten the switch in 7-7 on numerous occasions, and it hurts because you just have to play the entire level again.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do it in IL, so if that's where you start, then you're not used to pressing the switches. There's really difficult potential strats here, but I'm not going to go for them. I'll just take this slowly because these are stupidly risky as well. You can't really see what's ahead. Like, I could have used this to just go ahead to the next platform potentially. Didn't get that there. If everything lines up right. But you can't really see any of it.
Yeah.
You don't want any of it in full game.
Yeah.
IL looks crazy though.
Okay.
I think, because we had so many coins, this is the first level where I'm going to actually use my banana juice. So I think we mentioned earlier there's pretty much one mandatory use for banana juice, and that's 8-1. For this category, at least 100% definitely needs it in 4K. But yeah, since I had so much extra money, I was able to buy 2 extra. And I'm going to use one in 7-7 as I said. And the second one goes here. Because the ending of this section, or the ending of this level, has a bunch of obstacles that are damage boostable, are plenty, and are pretty slow to avoid. It can be pretty nasty if they catch you in a bad way. So we're not going to see this juice made the most of for a while. You'll see that golden 10 up there on the top left. That's how many hits I can still take. But it'll go down by like 5 hits at once at the end.
Yeah. The color of the electric things just threw me off because we mentioned it at the start. We have a little bit of a color issue with the PC with the monitor here, at least for the game, not in general.
Yeah, just for me. You're not seeing it.
Yeah, and the purple electric things here appear green on the monitor. It just totally throws me off here.
Because these are supposed to be purple.
Yeah, they're supposed to be purple, and here they appear as a really bright neon green.
Yeah, it's funny. You can get that, but I don't know. Like, that's one of the most inconsistent like ledge clips. I don't really understand. It usually doesn't work, but I know you can do it because I've done it in my IL. I don't know. But yeah, you saw the banana juice made plenty of use of at the end right there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be made even more use of right here in 7-7 because this level has damage boostable obstacles all over the place. They're everywhere and they're super hard to avoid while going fast, and it's definitely worth it, I would say.
Yeah. Either take a banana juice or keep grooving.
True.
Because everything in this level is synced to the music that is playing on the in the background, and that is really cool.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite levels as well. The music's really good, and how the level plays with the music, it is wonderful. Starting here, there's going to be like rows of hammers and whatnot. There's going to be stupid guys right in the way. Oh yeah, that's the IL strat. Like, without stopping the roll, you roll between two. That's not consistent. Then there's these things here. They're just superb damage boosting targets.
Yeah.
We press the switch. Fun fact about that chicken right there. That chicken has killed me before. The one that was like walking over the panel, the flipping panel. Because if you jump on it and then flip the panel, the chicken explodes. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it can just blow up right in your face.
Yeah, I normally don't think about that because if you're fast enough, you just can flip the panel and kill the chicken by flipping the panel, and then it never really does explode.
Yeah.
So here we need to wait for the hammers because the hammers are what knocks us up. And yeah, there we go.
There's technically a really cool strat you can do there. It's very inconsistent and kind of risky-ish. It's like if you're on one of those giant platforms, you're in the middle of a continuous roll and you're like approaching the far right side just as a hammer swings down. It'll bounce you up, you'll get the roll, and then you technically, if you do a mid-air jump and hover at the right time, you have enough distance, height, and speed to make it over to the very next platform, skipping one of the huge hammers entirely. But I've gotten it like a couple times when I was grinding the IL and never ever in full game. It's just not consistent at all. So this is 7R. This is another auto-scroll. It's relatively short. And this is pretty unique. This is the only R level in the game. It's, you know, the auto-scroll is a bit from what we've seen from the Rocket Barrel level so far as well. You'll see this type once more where instead of going up and down, we're still, well, I can control my like, height still, but like, we're going up and maneuvering left to right. We'll see this again in 8B. 7R is interesting in a bunch of ways that, like, this level has no Kong letters, no puzzle pieces, you can't time attack it, you can't play it in mirror mode. Even if you're doing like the ultimate completion run of this game, where you're getting literally everything, you do not have a reason to play 7R more than once ever.
Yeah. It's basically just a confirmation level, because we just mentioned before the 3 buttons, and you can enter the 7R, I think, but the rocket won't launch off if not all the 3 buttons are pressed. So it's just an intermediate level to confirm that all the buttons are pressed from the previous levels. And welcome to Birds Are Jerks round 2. Yeah, the friendly chicken, or however you would call it.
Yeah, so this entire part is still scripted. It's going to be scripted for a while. The RNG doesn't kick in until it's done going across the screen 3 times.
Yeah.
There's so much RNG here. I'll like call it out as soon as like things start happening because it's a lot easier to explain as they do. But he's going to start turning red here. He's going to walk fast towards me. He's going to jump, and then this is bad RNG because he didn't like spin and have his weak spot open. He can do it again, and he did, which is really bad. And now he's guaranteed to do it. So he starts spinning, and then the weak spot's shown, and then we do this and get our first hit in. And what happens now is also entirely luck-based. I think he's favored to like fly over to one edge of the screen and then immediately reveal it again. If we're fast, we can fit right in there. Like this.
Yeah.
And get the second hit. And then I don't know what happens now. It's all up to the RNG gods.
But it should be rather aggressive. So if it has taken already 2 hits, it's more likely to attack right away, which it does.
Yep.
Nice one.
And
it's a bad RNG again.
Yeah, he can. No, he walks again instead of just repeating the jumps. No.
Oh no! Don't do that. Don't do that.
This is the walk of shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he can immediately when he aims for you is in the air, he can immediately reveal his weak spot, start spinning. Oh my god.
He does a full walk.
Both of the birds in this run have not been kind to us in the slightest. As soon as this done finally feels like this guy finally feels like getting done, there's a second phase to go because of course you can't have a boss just end in 3 hits. There's an interesting strat here. I'll try and go for it. Maybe we'll get it, maybe we won't. It's very inconsistent. You can get like a double hit on this weird saucer thing that has like the worst hitbox known to mankind. So we'll see. Yes! Woo!
Nice one.
Nice. That is a really hard and inconsistent strat because, like, again, that saucer has a weird as hell hitbox and, like, it pushes you around, it bounces you around in weird ways. There's also the spiky hurt box on the bottom that sometimes will just decide to hit you for some reason. And it's not a great time, but I'm happy I was able to show that off at least. That's nice.
Yeah, really nice. The double hit. Actually, it would be possible to do a triple hit.
It is.
It is, but that's like a 1 in a million run.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you're interested in that, like, again, check out the IL leaderboards. It is crazy. You want to see it because, man, that is one hell of a strat. But starting out, like, running this game, I didn't even do double hits. I actually only integrated them later. And triple hits, I don't want to think about in a million years.
Yeah. So, yeah, 8-1.
So that was... I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, A1...
It works out. It works out.
So far, you haven't really seen us run low on banana juice. A1 is where that happens.
Yeah.
We're at the first checkpoint now, and we're already 5 hits down. We need every single hit that we can take here desperately. There's no way you're getting through this level in a timely manner, or even in general, without the banana juice.
Yeah, it's either just have enough coins for the banana juice, use it here, either that, or you lose just like 50 seconds to a minute just by waiting for all the obstacles here to go away.
Yeah, you saw we went in with those 10 extra hits from the banana juice. Now, like, all of those are gone, and I also lost a heart on Diddy still.
Yeah.
And that was just enough to get me through.
And that's really interesting because the next 2 levels are auto-scrollers that don't give Diddy at the beginning, but at the start of 8-4, we would like to have Diddy here. So it's really important to keep Diddy and to have Diddy at the end of 8-1. So, by the way, are you going for the leap of faith here at the... Oh,
wait.
Oh, wait,
8-6.
Wrong. It's A3, I mean.
No,
A3 there is a...
You mean 8-6?
No, I mean 8-3
Oh, wait,
there.
I think I know what you mean. Yeah,
The leap of faith,
pretty consistent.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking of what you're thinking
I just flipped the levels here because I thought it was... as I said, it's 2 auto-scrollers, and I haven't played the game in a while, so I just flipped the two levels, so we get to that in a minute. But yeah, the hardest rocket barrel level in the game.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that technically, well, not technically, it actually takes a little bit of training to do flawlessly.
Yeah.
And yeah, also my first playthrough, I spent a lot of time here.
Yeah, this level's also actually really hard in 100% because the Kong ladders are pretty nasty for the most part, have high depth potential, honestly. There's also a really, really nasty puzzle piece. We already like passed it a long time ago, but it's like the worst one in the game for me.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we are at the end, and coming up next is another auto-scroller. It's going to be a minecart auto-scroller, specifically the dual minecart variant where you're standing on top of it. And as Tiger mentioned, there's an interesting leap of faith. It's a strat that I like to call Donkey Kong wins by doing absolutely nothing, because the way that you execute it, or have to execute it, is like after a certain point, if you do literally anything on the Wii remote, and I'll show this in the camera, except a full neutral jump with 2, you will not make the jump for some reason. Like, it's a long distance jump. You need a lot of speed, and you'd think like you hold right or something. But no.
But actually, after you jumped, you can hold right. Then it doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
But the important thing is that right now you don't do anything. You are not allowed to jump here. If you jump, for example, if you grab the K ladder, which is important for 100%, you cannot make the jump, and that has killed me so many 100% runs. Yeah, because I just was used to jumping there. So the last long jump there, it does not work. It gets shorter if you jump before. It's a really crazy.
If anyone knows why,
Yeah.
please tell us. I don't think anyone knows.
No one knows why this mechanic is in the game.
The car takes a slightly different track. Ooh, it passes a section of the track that it doesn't usually, but we don't know why it doesn't do that. I don't know. But yeah, so that's actually why 100% is the worst category, because you don't get to do the funny strat. I love that strat, because just by virtue of you have to hold absolutely nothing. It's so funny to me.
Yeah.
All right, and that is the end of 8-3, and Diddy is alive.
That's
so
nice.
We will be able to take him into the sort of 8-5, and yeah, 8-5, as Tiger mentioned, is a super tricky level.
Oh yeah, it's 8-5, not 8-4.
Yeah,
I did
8-4 is up
say
there.
8-4, yeah, but the 8-4 is of course after the is behind the key.
Yeah, 8-4 is where our buddy's Rambi is at, and another silhouette level, but
Yeah,
we
it's
don't get to
actually a
see it.
Rambi and a silhouette level, so that single level is the reason why we don't see two of our special levels.
Yeah. But yeah, 8-5, very tricky level. You have these platforms that are on cycles. You have the fireballs jumping out of the lava. You have me doing things that I did not want to do and having to improvise, but that's, you know, always happens. There's going to be a kind of leap of faith here. This one's interesting because the camera can't even catch up, and it's going to be zoomed out very far. So hopefully this lines up right. I'm not going to go for that one. You can go for that one if you're a little ballsy, but
Yeah, you can go for the
generally
second.
better not to. Because there's no checkpoint until right here.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there's a Diddy barrel right there in case you die. Maybe.
Yeah.
I thought I could make that one.
So the
This is fine. I think I know what I need to do.
I wouldn't know.
It's fine. I'll just take this slowly.
Yeah, just take it slow. I wouldn't be sure how to go for that.
Yeah. All right.
Nice one.
There's usually slightly different strats we do there, but I was honestly very scared.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's fine. Again, the most important thing is not dying.
yeah.
All right. Speaking of difficult levels, or more specifically, like levels with a singular super difficult strat. Let's put it that way. 8-6. This is, I'd say the strat at the end of this level is like the hardest one that I do in the run. I mean, there's a couple that are up there, but this one.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so the last section in the game, you will in the game, of course. The last section in the level, you will see that we are on many moving platforms that are sinking into the lava. But this whole construct of the platforms is also moving to the right. It's also shifting to the right, which you will be seeing at the backside, at the background of the screen, and the end barrel for the level is always there, and it's always loaded, and you could always hit it, and you're just slowly moving towards it, and the section starts here right now. And yeah, so the end barrel is there, it's just outside of the screen, and we are moving towards it right now. So it's actually possible to hit it early out of bounds, or out of the screen. You can go off screen and hit the end barrel with a really precise timing. So we have to wait a bit and wait for the fireballs. And at a certain point after the big one is through,
Yes!
we can hit it. Nice one. That was actually earlier than I would normally do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's-
I know I'm a little bit worried about the height, and I don't want to use all the jetpack, so I can adjust a little bit. I can be a little bit higher, so I normally wait a little bit longer for that. That was super early for me.
It's interesting because there's another method that's used for the IL that I also did back then. That is like even earlier and even tighter.
Wow.
We just, you know, well, I won't talk about it too much. It's already past. But there's various ways of going about that. Some are really difficult, and you just kind of. The problem is learning it because you're not seeing anything. If you fail, you just hear DK fall in the lava and die, and it's not nice. You really know how to like put a change up for next time. Anyway, you know, we're being chased by lava. We're like dying. We should maybe talk about H7. This is the last regular level in the game. This one like chases you up with lava, and it works like based on platform triggers, where like the geometry will build further as you hit certain triggers on platforms. That's probably okay.
Yeah, should be fine.
We need to ignore our way around how all of this is going to end up. There's enemies dropping here, platforms coming out here. I'm going to do a dash jump here. If you do not get across this in one try, those enemies do not respawn, so you're kind of screwed. And then just finish up here.
Yes.
Very mean strat they pull on you at the end. Like there's a sequence here. You're intensely being chased by lava at a very fast rate. They put the G right there, slowly scrolling through, so you're forced to delay a lot.
Yeah, you have to wait for that.
Do we have time for me to talk about some incentives?
Yeah, we have a little, like 1 minute auto scroller or something, and then it's the final boss. So you've got a little time.
All right, cool. So, as you might know, upcoming is only up, but after that we have the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, and for that we still have we can still name the characters, and we don't have any names in for that yet. So we really need some names for that. You've got like 40-ish minutes left, maybe a little more, but.
Yeah.
Probably around let's say around an hour you still got left. But you really need to make sure that we got some names for that. So make sure to get your donations in and get some names in for that, because we really need them. Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe don't really take an hour for that, because I hope I won't take that long.
Yeah, we're actually coming up on the end of this run very soon. This is the final level. This is the final boss coming up as soon as we finish this auto scroller right here.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about. I think I'll let you cover that as I finish this up.
Yeah, so the Big Ticky, also a rather RNG-heavy boss, just like the chicken before. He has the 2 hands at the start. Each hand has 2 lives, and we have to destroy the hands first. And that's a really nice RNG pattern, because we normally want to get 1 hand down first, because then all the patterns are getting a little bit easier for us.
Nice.
Yeah, he's really nice today. And yeah, that's given normally that he does one of the attacks that is not attackable. Oh, now he's...
There we go. That's it for phase 1. We have 3 more hits left.
3 more hits.
Until we have to call time.
I have the button right.
It's in the cutscene on the final hit. This hit's guaranteed.
Yeah. The first one is guaranteed, and then it can get messy. It can not get messy. Well, it's just... Well, that's a good pattern, because normally he does at max 2 of these, and then he normally comes down again for a
this
hit.
Is good. So now he can just let me get the last hit instantly. Oh, he's nice! And that is time!
Nice one. It was green there.
Wow. That is... A 136 is a super good run for a showcase.
It's a really nice run there.
That's like a minute off of my PB.
Yeah.
That is way better than anything I could have hoped for.
Yeah.
That was a really nice pattern on B as well. I wasn't prepared for that to be finished so fast. Like we're quite a ways underestimate. I mean, we did hold up the
we
tech
did
for quite a bit, but there was a few things I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8B pretty RNG heavy on the hands. Really good hand pattern there though, and really good like RNG on the second phase. That was nice. In general, I think we were treated okay this run. So yeah, that was Donkey Kong Country Returns. Thank you very much for watching the run. I hope you enjoyed it. It's always a pleasure to show this game off, because I just love the way that it flows in a speedrun. It's super cool. yeah, definitely a couple shoutouts. Again, shoutouts to the tech, shoutouts to everyone sitting here, shoutouts to Wazoo for lending me his Wii and batteries impromptu. Shoutouts to Tiger for the commentary. I actually approached him very spontaneously about this just yesterday. Thank you for being here, taking some of the weight off me and like letting me focus.
I just have to take a photo of that. Of the screen and the actual screen on the beamer.
Yeah!
I think I'll post that on the Discord later.
Yeah.
That's too good.
The
That's
screen is
too
still
good.
all in magenta. It's lovely. Yeah, shoutouts to the entire DKCR and Tropical Freeze community. There's Leah, who's super active, verifies like all of my runs, does a lot of ILs. Minus 112, the current world record holder, very good IL runner as well. And yeah, just all the people in there. We've gotten a couple of new people recently as well. It's been nice, and I will definitely need their assistance again when I go about learning Tropical Freeze a little in the next month.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoutouts to my family who was watching this at home. If they managed to set it up correctly, I hope they did. And yeah, I think that does it. I have been TimeLink. You will see me again on Sunday. I'll actually be the closer for this event with Mega Man X8, which is more in line with what I usually do. I do a ton of Mega Man stuff, sometimes DK. That is what you can expect to see from me if you should visit my channel. And yeah, I'll be seeing you again on Sunday. I think that's all I've had to say. So, you know, we've held things up enough. Let's move on to the next run. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you very much, TimeLink, for this amazing Donkey Kong Country Returns run. Coming up next is Only Up by Mr. Tiger, whom you might have already seen. This marks the end of my hosting shift, however. I will be leaving the hosting mic in the capable hands of Georgie.